What is up, guys? Brayden here, back at it again with a new video. And in today's video, we are going to go over 3 of my best SAT, ACT writing tips, the writing section. So we're just going to start it right off with the first question here. So the first tip is when we have a subject in the second part of a sentence, like the second clause following a comma, right? The first part has to be talking about that subject. So let me try to explain this in the context of this question. Maybe it'll make a bit more sense. So we see here, which is correct, waiting for his grandma, Billy let the bus leave without him, okay? Then we look at the next one, waiting for his grandma, the bus left without Billy. So pretty much this part of the sentence here has to describe or kind of modify what this person or thing is doing. So we see waiting for his grandma, Billy did this. So since Billy was waiting for his grandma, since that's what this is talking about, A is correct because Billy is what's being described here, and Billy is right after the comma. Here it says waiting for his grandma, the bus left without Billy. Waiting for his grandma is clearly describing Billy, but here we have the bus. So the bus is not waiting for his grandma, so we know that cannot be right. And then the other two, we just have a dash here, that's not right. And then waiting for his grandma, Billy let the bus leave without him. There's no comma there, so we know that cannot be correct. So we have the next one here. So which is correct, we have the dog ate the food and he played fetch. So the point here is that if you have the first part of a sentence and the second part, if you have a compound sentence where both the first and the second part can be standalone sentences, then you need a comma. So the dog ate the food and he played fetch. At first glance it looks correct, but we have no comma there. And can this stand alone? The dog ate the food? Yes. Can this stand alone? He played fetch? Yes. So we know that cannot be correct. Right here we have the dog ate the food and he played fetch. The dog ate the food can stand alone, he played fetch can stand alone, and we have the comma. So this means that B would be correct because you need that comma, and then also you would need a conjunction here, such as and, or but. And then right here, you can't have a capital after a semicolon. And then here, the dog ate the food and played fetch. This cannot stand alone, so we actually do not need a comma. This would just be the dog ate food and played fetch without the comma. And then my last tip here, so here we have the ghost, a figment of Joe's imagination, slid under the table. So we don't need this central part here. We know that from the sentence, the ghost slid under the table. That sentence makes sense. We know the subject and we know the thing that the subject did. Okay, so this would be correct because we have 2 commas, and that denotes that what's inside is not necessary to understand the sentence. And we see indeed it is not necessary, so A is correct. Right here we have the ghost, a figment of Joe's imagination, slid under the table. We don't have a comma, so that can't be correct. C, same issue. It's actually the exact same sentence, so that obviously can't be correct. And then D, the ghost was a figment of Joe's imagination, and it slid under the table. Here we have that same concept that we talked about here with the comma. We see that it slid under the table can stand alone. The ghost was a figment of Joe's imagination. That can stand alone. So we would need a comma here, or we need a comma right here in order for that one to be correct. So we kind of just went through all the concepts there again in that last one. So I hope this helped you guys a lot. I know that, this section can be straightforward if you know the rules, but if you don't know the rules, you're going to get silly points off. So definitely, try to know all the rules for this one so that when you get to the reading and math section where the questions are a little bit trickier, you can, spare yourself a few points and still get that high score that you're looking for. So see you guys in the next one.